Australia, just about how the brochure described it. Beautiful beaches, friendly people, easygoing lifestyle. Then why am I mildly disappointed? What did I expect?
Boomerang.
I mean, the weather's been great, the scenery fantastic. What? Wait a minute, what did that man say?
He said boomerang.
Boomerangs, of course, that classic Aboriginal invention, that aerodynamic phenomenon that's as Australian as, well, the kangaroo, yes?
No.
The Australian doesn't want to know about it.
So says Duncan McClellan.
There's no one there, okay? Walk forward.
The Australian who gives free boomerang throwing lessons every Sunday morning at a park in Sydney. Now, he may seem encouraged.
Beautiful. Excellent. Stay there.
But the fact of the matter is,
that small tree. Ready?
most of his pupils aren't Australians. So when he says,
that is beautiful,
deep down inside, he really means,
it's disgraceful for this country, you know.
How the average Australian confesses to a question like,
when was the last time you threw a boomerang?
Do I say never?
Not really.
No, never.
No, I've never thrown one.
And then when actually given the chance...
Well, it did have some tendencies to glide, didn't it?
Did it ever come back?
No. Went over someone's house. It must be a dud. It doesn't work.
Could it be that some Australians think boomerangs are dangerous? Something that maybe shouldn't be given to a child?
Get him a dozen boomerangs. I haven't heard of a kid being killed with a boomerang yet, you know. This will bounce you on the head, it'll knock you out, and you'll wake up. You'll bleed a little bit, but you'll heal up, don't worry.
And don't get the wrong idea. There are some good Australian throwers out there, like Bob Burns, and former distance champ Stephen Salati, whose wife wrote a book on the subject. So you see, some Aussies are quite proficient with this thing.
I was born in Yugoslavia.
Well, you get the picture. The Australian skies aren't exactly filled with boomerangs. It's one of those misconceptions that, according to Rob Krull of Melbourne, never really does go away.
You know, every second person in Australia would have a pocket full of boomerangs, and kangaroos would be bounding down the street, and every now and then they'd go, oh, we're hungry, you know, zap out a boomerang and catch themselves a kangaroo or something.
Nope, that doesn't happen.
That's the Rolls Royce of boomerangs, but for fun and pleasure.
But then Duncan McClellan isn't exactly going hungry either. His boomerang shop moves a lot of merchandise, and this is where the story takes an unexpected turn.
We probably sell more boomerangs to Americans than anyone else in the world.
Ready, get set, launch.
Ah, yes, the American boomerang movement and its scholarly leader, Ben Rue, or should I say...
Ben Guru Roo.
Co-author of this book and organizer of many a boomerang outing. Here in Washington, D.C., the skies, in fact, are often filled with boomerangs, and with lofty spiritual statements like...
What you throw out is what you get back.
That's Barnaby Rue, Ben's cousin, putting an egg on an apple on a hat. And that's the American style of boomeranging. A behind the back, under the leg, two at a time, always in motion, catch between the feet, blend of skill and pizzazz. Could these people beat the Aussies at their own game? That was the issue back in 1984 when the two countries agreed to a boomerang duel. Oh, by the way, remember the guy with the apple and the egg? Australians beware, thought Duncan McClellan.
So I said, you better watch your step. They said, oh, don't worry, we'll be right. Wait till they get here, you know. The Australian attitude is, she'll be right, mate, you know. Have another drink. Just don't worry about it. That's everything about right.
Well, they should have worried. The Americans won. And the reaction down under?
They were horrified. In fact, the Sydney Telegraph had an editorial titled Shame.
The day of Australia's disgrace should be expunged from our history. The Americans came out and took the boomerang championship from us.
Shocked out of their complacency, the Australians rallied to win the rematch in 1986. Next year, the two countries will meet again.
Oh, we're going to crush them, obviously. We'll blow the doors off them there.
Ah, look, say no more about it.
It's very important to win.
After all, we're talking national pride here. We're talking heritage and tradition. We're talking...
My boomerang won't come back.
Oh, disgraceful.
For For today, Mike Leonard, NBC News, Sydney, Australia.
Because we Americans cut our teeth on Frisbees.
Compare's Brian Gumble and Jane Pawley have been presenting the NBC News program at different locations across Australia since last Friday. Today it was Melbourne's turn and the program's 35th anniversary.
Jane Pawley and Brian Gumble are as familiar to Americans as their morning coffee, flapjacks and maple syrup. They are among the highest paid compares in the world. Despite the hectic globe-trotting, Brian still finds time to relax playing golf. But during the NBC Today program's 6-day tour of Australia, he's had little chance to practice until today. And his coach and partner was none other than Greg Norman. At the Kingston Heath golf course, it was easy to pick the compare from the golf legend.
Would you believe I've shortened it up? Have really? Yeah, I really have. I used to almost hit myself in the left ankle. Get way back here. Yeah.
This afternoon it was back to work on the banks of the Yarra to tape the 2-hour program which will be shown on the 7 network tonight at midnight. A crew of more than 100 has helped put the show together to bring Melbourne to the States. Petite Jane Pawley arrived in the style to which she's become accustomed. Meanwhile, a large crowd watched us Aussies being watched, discussed and analysed as the NBC Roadshow swung into action.
And you can watch the Today Show here on 7 beginning at midnight.
Melbourne town was invaded by other visitors from the United States. A television crew of gigantic proportions was here to broadcast the American Today Show live from the banks of the Yarra. NBC's Today Show has now been running for some 35 years. The hosts of the show have become megastars, even here in Australia, where the program goes to air at midnight. The show costs, would you believe it, about $40,000 a minute to produce. Dennis Broadfield reports.
Needless to say, we've got a big week coming up here on Today in Australia. On Monday and Tuesday, we'll spend our time on the West Coast. We'll be in Perth and then back here in Fremantle. And then we'll head cross-country. We'll head east and spend the rest of our week in Australia's 2 biggest cities, in Melbourne and then 2 days in Sydney. Along the way, I'll make a stop in Canberra to talk to Australian Prime Minister Robert Hawke. We'll meet some other prominent Australians, too, and we'll take you to some of the fascinating places that make up this continent.
Brian Gumble, co-host of the American Today Show, detailing to an American audience their hectic week to come in Australia. Arguably the most successful breakfast show in the world, Today is an American institution.
35 years this program has been on the air in America, and people have been trained to expect the news in the morning. So we're not just really a casual habit, we're amongst regular viewers almost as critical as the morning coffee.
Jane Pawley, the other half of the Gumble-Pawley team. This mother of 3 is the show's true veteran, after taking over from Barbara Walters 10 years ago.
From NBC News, this is Today with Bryant Gumble and Jane Pawley.
Over its 35-year-old history, like all TV shows, it's seen many changes. But Pawley and Gumble have made the show the success it is.
We have to tell you what happened between the time you went to bed and the time you got up. If the world's over, don't go to work. Have a beer, sit back and watch us.
Fast-talking executive producer Steve Friedman has no doubts that the Gumble-Pawley team is the best on American television.
And they balance each other well. I mean, you know, she's more deliberate, he's quick. And they respond to each other well.
Another reason for the show's continued success is its commitment to broadcasts from exotic locations. Over the last few years, they've been seen behind the Iron Curtain in Vietnam, Rome, and South America.
Good morning. Standing half a mile above the sea atop Corcovado, the statue of Christ the Redeemer towers over Rio de Janeiro. Good morning.
And now the Today Show is in Australia, yesterday in Melbourne. And when the Today Show is on the road, it's not a small operation. Up to a week ago, they were holding full technical rehearsals beside the Yarra, right down to the audience chairs and the correct coloured stand-ins.
Melbourne.
Go back to 1 for me.
Melbourne, okay, going back to 1.
A crew of 140 from America set up a show that would bounce off 3 satellites on its way back to New York and then to the rest of the world. There was even a Today tram. But yesterday the stars arrived and the real show was underway.
And good morning. Welcome to Today on a Wednesday morning, day 3 of our Australian journey, and a journey it has been. We spent the first 2 days of this week on the west coast of Australia, and we traveled, oh what, maybe 2,000 miles?
Well, like I said yesterday, give or take 500.
Let's do it in terms of time. We traveled overnight and got here early in order to be on the banks of the Yarra River in Melbourne.
it's sort of like America has this crush on Australia, and I get the impression that Australians are flattered by that, a little bemused, but as I've said before, it's sort of like being told that King Kong is in love with you. You have mixed feelings about this.
Is Australia different to what you expected?
I think, well, I'm not sure what I expected, but I felt very comfortable being here, and yet at the same time pleased at the ever-present reminders that this is not Kansas anymore. That it is very definitely, for an American, a foreign place. The look of it is foreign. You'll be walking in a park and you'll feel you could be in America or London, and then you'll see the most ridiculous feathered creature you have ever seen. And you know you are not in any of those places before.
The hectic pace of the Today Show in Australia was starting to show by the time the stars arrived in Melbourne. 38-year-old Brian Gumble, arguably the most powerful black in America, was grabbing a quick break on the golf course with friend Greg Norman.
I mean, I think it's a little early for us to make generalizations. I mean, I think so much of the myths that people have about Australia are proven untrue once you get down here. But the one thing that is heartening, I think, is that we do an awful lot of research for all of our projects before we start them. And the research showed a great deal of interest in Australia before we came down here, more so than any of our previous trips.
The trip might be tiring the stars, but they still managed to look relaxed and unflappable on air. They obviously get along, but it wasn't always that way.
It wasn't as good as it has been the last few years. I think Bryant and I have really kicked in as a team. We have a very nice personal relationship too, and that's not critical for a television program. I don't think anybody watches us because Bryant and Jane are such good friends. But the fact that we are good friends means that we can trust each other, we can count on each other to help out. I laugh at his jokes, he gets mine. So it's a pretty good partnership.
It's a partnership that works, and one that's opened Australia up to an international audience like never before. And it seems they like what they see.
Speaking of attractive, my fan club is here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They are a nice-looking bunch of fellas. I would have to say, maybe the crowd would agree with me, that by Australian standards, these are, well, average-looking young men. Australians are gorgeous people.
Interesting.